it's helpful to see people that are motivated, and that's encouraging in itself. But it's also really helpful to see people who are ahead of where you are.
Tulsa Talks is the podcast that is inspiring people to have everyday meaningful conversations to gain perspective and help the world.
Welcome to Tulsa Talks. We have a doctor of chiropractic with us today, Derek Hines. He's going to talk about networking and collaboration. Welcome, Derek.
Thank you for having me.
So, how long have you been doing chiropractic, and how did you find that as your purpose?
Sure. I graduated in 2020 from the chiropractic school, and I have been practicing for 5 years now. Got started by, originally it wasn't chiropractic I was necessarily trying to pursue, but I played soccer my whole life. I was a runner, and so I had a lot of injuries, a lot of knee injuries that were pretty recurrent, and so I went to physical therapy quite a bit. So that was initially the route I was going, and it wasn't until whenever I was at OU and we had a class where every single week there's a different type of healthcare profession that would come and talk to us, where a chiropractor talked to us, let us know what it was all about. So I actually didn't know what it was until that point. But
And what year was this?
this was in probably 2018, 2019. So this is pretty close to whenever I was graduating. So, but it was very helpful to know what it was. I saw that I could pursue more of an entrepreneurial journey with chiropractic, whereas physical therapy at the time required referrals from medical doctors to see people. And so at first physical therapy I seemed like the right route for me, because I seemed like something I could enjoy doing, helping people, being in the health field realm. But I transitioned into pursuing chiropractic after that conversation because I could see myself doing similar things with that, on top of being able to be a bit more entrepreneurial with
Okay.
that. And so fast forward to 2020 graduating, I've been able to do that so far, and I've practiced in a couple of different environments where able to see different parts of chiropractic and how that helps people.
And you have your own practice now?
Correct. For coming on a year, I have been practicing with my own business, and that has been a journey on its own.
And why did you want to do your own thing? Are you just entrepreneurial, or did you see some reason to do this?
I come from a family full of entrepreneurs, and I knew that if I opened my own practice, I guess first off, there's with chiropractic, a lot of times you're coming in for an adjustment, you're getting pretty quick care. But I did know that I wanted to practice differently, and there's not a lot of clinics that practice the way that I do. And I knew that, so that's why I started at my own, was so that I can actually provide the value that people need
Okay.
to get outcomes
Okay.
for different health.
So tell us a little bit difference in, or the way you differentiate yourself from the things or the way that you've seen chiropractic done before.
Sure. And I'll just tell you a bit of some of the other practice styles I've already been in too, so you can differentiate. But a lot of chiropractors, they follow an insurance model where you can submit insurance, get paid for providing an adjustment. And a lot of times that is all that is covered by an insurance company is the adjustment, sometimes some muscle work or some electrical stimulation or some like physical therapy type exercises.
And I would suppose that insurance is sort of the minimalistic approach.
That is definitely a minimalistic approach, and insurance almost dictates how you practice. So the you're encouraged to do shorter appointment times because you're only able to bill. Insurance dictates the type of care that someone can receive, so it encourages shorter appointment times. And so a lot of the typical chiropractors come in, get adjusted, get maybe some muscle work done, maybe some electrical stim, and then you're out of the office. And so that can last like 5-15 minutes. My office, we are hour-long appointments, and the adjustment takes about 5 minutes. And a lot of the rest of what we're working on is improving mobility for people. We focus a large portion of what we're doing with rehab exercises. And so it's not just improving temporary mobility or getting people out of temporary pain. It's more of a long-term approach where they're not coming back as often,
Okay.
and it's not as necessary that they need us.
Yeah. You guys accept insurance?
We are a cash practice because of what I mentioned earlier. The value that we provide, we wouldn't be able to do what we do if
Okay.
we took insurance.
Okay. So when people come to you, they want a better way of receiving or expecting better results?
Absolutely. They usually have tried chiropractic, physical therapy, acupuncture, and either just had temporary fixes from some of those, or their pain wasn't helped at all. And with how we approach care, I mean, one-on-one with me the entire time as a chiropractor, 60-minute visits, we're actually able to help people that have failed previous providers a lot of times, and avoid surgery, avoid using prescription medicine, and able to help a lot of people in how we approach things.
Okay. So it's the reasonable next step without going to full surgery from traditional or insurance based physical therapy and chiropractic care.
Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of people will want to use their insurance, so they'll try those methods first a lot of times.
Sure. That
And
kind of makes sense. I mean, why not
abs-
save your dollars?
absolutely, I would be the exact same way. And that's the hard part of what I of working with people, is trying to communicate that to people.
Yeah.
And sometimes what it takes is letting them try that out and realizing that, hey, this is not what I was looking for. And then those are a lot of the people that will actually end up coming to us, are people who they wanted to give it a shot, and they realize it's not actually going to provide the outcome that they were looking for.
Yeah. About a month ago, I detached the tendon from the bottom of my knee. I think that's called the patella tendon
Yes, sir.
in an auto collision, and I had surgery. It was needing to be surgically repaired.
Uh-huh.
And that being said, um, I don't like surgery. I don't like going to the doctors. I don't like getting adjusted. But I've known other people that have, and it seems like they get kind of dependent on this stuff.
hmm
And is that something that people should expect with chiropractic? Is having a lifelong adventure with this, or is it something that they could come in and get the basics done and just continuing life as long as they did their maintenance?
Sure. There are a lot of benefits to continuing care. However, a lot of people think that you need to come once a week for the rest of your lives.
Yeah, that's what
Or
I've seen. My sister
once
does that.
your sister does that. Well, that does help some people. And with the shorter appointment times, people who are in physical labor jobs, maybe they're using their bodies a lot, that can totally be beneficial to prevent injury, because it's one, you're increasing mobility through the adjustment as part of it. But some people do get overly reliant on it or can become dependent. And that's where showing people what they can be doing at home to prevent their pains from coming back, or working with them with exercises that help to strengthen instead of just putting a band-aid on some of
Yeah.
these problems that they're having. And it's important to find out why someone's having the pain. That way they don't have to rely on a chiropractor for the rest of their lives. But
Or
there is a benefit to maintenance care Absolutely.
And how often would you say that routine needed to be done? To come in and after things are adjusted and things are working properly, they're doing their proper stretching and strength exercises at home so that their body can work to its optimum level.
Hmm.
And they're doing all that they can along with nutrition and everything else. Because what I see is these bodies that we live in are needed to be taken care of holistically. And
Sure.
some people, to my opinion, and I'm probably the other side of the spectrum, like I just admitted, but some people are so uh, reliant on getting a fix
Hmm.
instead of being repaired
Yeah.
and taking care of their self maintenance holistically.
Hmm.
Um, how often should they come in? After they've been adjusted and everything's going in a good direction and they're doing the right things, how often should they expect to come see you, doc?
Yeah. So, what I'll say first is a lot of people will come in because of their pain specifically. And getting people out of pain is just the first step a lot of times of fixing the issue. So, a lot of times people will come until their pain's gone and then they'll fall off and maybe stop coming or altogether.
Not
That's
a good thing.
not a good thing because a lot of times the pain is the first thing to go a lot
Yeah.
of times, and there's still the issue going on.
Yeah. The last thing to
So
show up, the first thing to go.
absolutely, that's such a true statement. And so we want to make sure that we are able to stabilize the area and go through a plan with people, and that's different for every single person. And same thing for maintenance, different for everybody. However, I would say once a month is a sweet spot where once you're feeling good, once you're functioning well, once a month is a great time frame to come in. We can check you out, see how things are moving, and you should be able to do some things on your own at home too. And some people can go longer, but it's a good to stay ahead of the pain rather than wait till it's an issue.
Yeah. Fix the root cause instead of manage the pain.
Absolutely. And a lot of times if someone comes in with an injury, for example, your knee, then they're more likely to have an injury because they've already had an injury happen. So say you go through your physical therapy and you have most of your function back, you still could be liable for ankle, hip injury because your knee may not return to full mobility or function. So that's why it's a really important while you're in physical therapy or you're doing your rehab exercises or chiropractic, whatever you're doing, that you're very consistent and doing what they recommend and maybe doing a little bit more at home.
Yeah, because if you have pain or you have limited movement, you're liable to start moving differently and affect different parts of your body collaterally.
Absolutely. And that's something that a lot of people don't realize is that even though you have pain in one area, chances are that pain came from an area above or below. So, for example, lower back pain, most of the time people are either limited in their hip mobility or their mid back mobility. And that's affecting their lower back because they're doing these motions a lot of times that over
Not
time
natural.
start to, yeah, they're not natural, that you start to compensate in other areas, and that's whenever an injury happens, is whenever that mobility is decreased and you're trying to get the body to perform certain measures, and they're not it's should not be doing that.
So you've been a chiropractor for 5 years roughly,
Correct.
been in practice almost a year.
Hmm.
What kind of continuing education do you have with chiropractic care? Do they keep you up to speed?
They keep us up to speed. And I'll say I tend to do continuing education that is following more of rehab exercise principles, movement assessments, because that's a lot of what the realm is that I'm doing with my care and the people that I'm working with. And so staying in that realm helps me to help the patients that I really like to work with. There are a lot of other continuing education as well, and I mean it's super beneficial. Uh, say like some business principles and how to communicate with people, because communication is a large part of patient care as well.
Sure.
But yeah, continuing education plays a huge role, and I'm learning on the clinical side a lot of the time, not just doing what's required by the state to keep there. I'm also doing research on my own, or and a lot of times using some coaching for like business or marketing that has really been beneficial as well for having a practice of my own.
Talking about that and being well rounded and being an entrepreneurial chiropractor, how have you incorporated these people that surround you as far as networking and
Mhm.
collaboration, which you just kind of started to mention just now?
Yeah, it's been huge working with people that are around me physically. There's a networking group that I'm been a part of since I opened my practice, and that has provided me with people that are on the same trajectory. They're growing. They're focused on big things, and it's been helpful to work alongside people like that. And I know I've been able to talk to people, learn a lot from them, and
Yeah.
also been able to trade services or collaborate, which is able to, I mean, it helps, it's mutually beneficial, but it also allows for them to know exactly how we both, I work and how they work. That way we can refer our out services to other people who may benefit from what we do too.
You just said a mouthful that we're going to try to elaborate on a little bit.
Yeah.
And first off, you said something about coming together with like minded people to have the same type of energy flow.
Hmm.
And that energy flow uh, has helped you stay energized.
Oh yeah. It's helpful to see people that are motivated, and that's encouraging in itself. But it's also really helpful to see people who are ahead of where you are, so that one, you can have something to shoot for, uh, and be like, hey, I would love to meet that level of execution or just joy in their life. But um,
You're a real sharp man, great communicator. You found where you fit in this level of advancement through the process, and you found people that are like-minded and ahead of you. Have you found anybody that you could help coach along as you're going at the same time into getting their thing up and running better?
that actually, so whenever I first started my practice, I was working part time at a different chiropractic office, and there was a lot of providers there that would come to me because they saw that I was starting up my own thing, and so I've been able to provide a lot of answers for people that may be interested in starting their own, or encouragement and realizing like, hey, you don't have to take out a lot of debt necessarily to start your business all the time. uh, but also, I mean, it's just, can you actually repeat that question?
You found people that are ahead of you
Okay.
and people that are alongside of you. Have you found people to mentor as you're being developed as well?
Okay, yes. So, and that has especially been the case with, like I said, my business, building that up. So I've had several chiropractors specifically who I've talked with and given bouncing ideas, because I don't know everything, and so it's helpful to hear what they're going through. And that's something I would really like to do more in the future. Right now, I haven't had the opportunity to do that a whole bunch, but there are a few people that I've talked to, had meetings with, been able to encourage and realize like, hey, this is definitely doable, and you don't have to, like I said, take out a lot of debt for to
Yeah.
pursue this.
About 30 years ago, I happened to have a fellow that came into my life that was a MBA from Cornell University,
Hmm.
and he was one of our first customers when I launched that initial business that we had. And I didn't understand how mentoring someone could help the mentor.
Mm.
And he brought me under his wings and he was like, this is the way you need to do business, Craig. This is what you need to do. And if there's anything else that I can do to help you, you just come to me and I'll help you all that I can. And a lot of people that are needing help
Hmm.
are not allowing those people to help them, thinking that they're wasting their time or they're overstepping their boundaries or they're like, the mentor is not gaining anything out of this.
Hmm.
But every time that I've ever helped anybody else, I've received more help than what I've tried to give.
Sure.
It's better to give than to receive. However, we need to be recipients as well
Hmm.
so that somebody can give, so that we can grow together.
Yeah. And I could totally see the benefit of mentoring someone because it can help clarify things that maybe you're working on internally and in business too. Um, and whenever you teach something, you're learning a lot in that process of getting that message, conveying that message to someone else.
Yeah, it refines who you are as a person
Yeah.
by helping someone else get up and running.
Hmm.
And these people that are alongside you that's giving this energy and these people that are ahead of you that you're receiving some mentorship from, and that's coming through networking.
Part of that is networking. I'm also part of like a mastermind program with other chiropractors who are practicing pretty similar. And that has been encouraging. It's hard to have a business, and it's hard to do everything in a business that it requires marketing, uh, patient care, managing a schedule. I have a 16-month-year-old daughter who I am also there spending a lot of time with, and it's incredibly encouraging to see that people that are hitting these benchmarks. So for I'll just tell a story, I guess. In this mastermind program, there's one aspect is marketing, and so there's a marketing checklist that has you like Instagram posts daily, workshops, networking events, but hitting the numbers required to for the minimum of that marketing checklist is it's hard because there's a lot that goes into it. But seeing people that are doing that plus some makes it a lot easier to actually go in there, implement some of these topics, and it just raises the bar of what I feel like I can do, and it helps a ton being in a group that's ahead of where you are, but also some people that are doing exactly what you're doing.
So, how did you find this um, mastermind group?
It is.
Not necessarily which one it is, but how
Mhm.
did you go about finding?
Yeah. So since I started, this is how I wanted to practice. And this is a group of it has chiropractors, physical therapists in it, but there's people in the Facebook groups that just kind of drop the name of this here and there, and then also podcasts that I listen to that have made me very much consider this mastermind group, and so just seeing people who have joined it, and then seeing what level that they're executing at and how it's changed their lives, that encouraged me to look into it more and actually consider it, even though it's something that I mean, you're paying for it, but it's really beneficial.
Is it local and in person, or is it Zoom type?
It's a Zoom type meeting with several meetings throughout the week and a forum where we're able to bounce ideas off of each other as well. But it's like I said, it's extremely motivating. It gives you some insight onto how things that you can be doing, that things are possible, and that I mean, just being able to help people,
Is
how you're helping, how I'm able to help them has been it's been helpful to see that.
so these people are spread across the country,
Oh yeah,
or
all across the country. I think there's some in Canada as well, but primarily focused here in the U.S. But all spread around the country. And it's all, like I said, mainly chiropractors, but there are physical therapists and some other practitioners in this group as well.
Yeah, back when we were in the landscape business years ago, we had national conventions,
Hmm.
and we had groups of people coming together in these small groups, like you're talking about, on a regular basis with somebody leading the mastermind so that
Hmm.
we could develop our businesses properly. And those events, those small groups were instrumental in us growing the business the way we did because they showed us where we were going. And to me, that is as well a networking type event and collaboration as well, because you have people that have been there, done that, and you also have people that you can help as
Hmm.
well that have not received or achieved the results that you have at this time. That all being said, local collaboration is a little different than networking to
Absolutely.
me, but it's still networking at the same time if you treat it properly. And what we've seen in our business is we get core people to do core things, and then any of the peripheral, we try to include the best professionals that we can
Hmm.
that know the most people they that's available in the area so that we can not only collaborate and allow them to do what they do for us, but as well let other people know that we exist. Because if we're so confined and restricted into just our team trying to do everything on our own, first off, we're not going to be professionals in that realm.
Hmm.
Second off, we're not going to have the reach that we could by incorporating other people.
Right.
What have you found?
I agree 100% with that. I think collaboration has been very helpful in not only helping my business grow, but also helping the people that I'm collaborating with. And so, I mean, finding the people networking groups, that's a lot of like where I've been collaborating with people. Like we're trading services because, for example, I've collaborated with someone who was able to do some advertisements for us, and extremely. I mean, I don't love being on camera, but he made it comfortable for me to be on camera. His Their business was very helpful for mine, and I was able to help him uh, get rid of a pain that he'd been dealing with for a long period of time. So, I mean, trading services, and then from there, able to refer customers to him because he's an awesome at digital ads and also photography, and then vice versa, where he's able to send some people that need some help or experiencing some pain to me as well. So, I mean, that's extremely helpful in growing the business. And there's been several people that I've worked with and collaborated with that it's just helped each other grow our businesses.
Okay. What all services do you typically hire out through collaboration and maybe helping them as well with, or their family and friends with chiropractic? So you said digital advertising is
Hmm.
one of them. What else have you found?
Yeah. So some of them are not related to healthcare. A lot of what I who I like to work with are other healthcare providers, whether that's someone who does massage and can help in another realm on top of what I'm able to provide for people. So I've collaborated with massage therapists, some of personal trainers as
Hmm.
well, because that's a great next step once they've kind of met what their goals are with me, referring them to someone who can actually work to help them strengthen and maintain a lot of the changes and build strength, perform activities that they have been wanting to do that they couldn't. But that's been a really big thing, as well as working with personal trainers. There's a really awesome gym about 2 miles south of where my office is, named Resilience Training, and all their personal trainers are great, but one-on-one personal training, and they've been working with me. I've been using their services and vice versa, and it's been great experience, and it's a perfect place that I'm comfortable sending patients to after they're finished with me, essentially.
Okay. You kind of told us what the best customer for you was a while ago, but Can you make sure that we understand who a good customer is for you and what that good fit would be for them?
Sure. Two two types of people. One, people who have been injured. They like to work out at the gym. They can't do that because of some injury that's been holding them back. It can be a short-term injury, something that's been going on for quite a while. But we tend to we like to help those people that are dealing with an injury, have tried physical therapy, have tried chiropractic before, has not been what they're looking for, or haven't given them the results that they're trying to get at the end of that. And so we come in, we work with athletes, general people who just want to work out or play with their kids, get back to an active lifestyle, um, and we're able to help a lot of that population to improve their pain and to keep that pain from coming back. Like I said, chronic pain is something that a lot of people deal with that they don't always even think about because it's been around for so long. But those are the people who oftentimes will need what we do the most because they have avoided going to the gym. And so not only does that affect their physical life, but that also affects emotional, how they're feeling throughout their day, mental aspects all around. So the chronic pain, people who are in pain that have been for years and it's stopping them from doing what they like to do, what they enjoy doing, those are the type of people that I love working with because we're able to help them return to a lifestyle that actually gives them energy. And I mean, if they have energy, then it affects the people around them too.
So, Derek, how do people get in touch with you and your company?
Sure. We have Instagram is a good way. You can find me Dr. Dr. period Derek Hines, and that's on Instagram. Or you can go to the website Verdant Chiro, VERDANTCHIRO.com to just find out more about my practice as well.
Okay, you have a phone number?
Yes, sir. Phone number is 918-861-9334.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming to the podcast today.
Thank you for having me, Craig.
We are here to help you discover or develop your passions, how you can use them, and why you exist. How can we help you help others better?